Well, fine, Volpe, don't answer my my chat. I guess we're live. Hello, everybody. I'm Calco the Barbarian, and joining me on the mic tonight is Mount Numbers. And welcome tonight to the Yoshi's Island Winter Tournament 2023 finale. We have Calco versus Icterus, fighting their way through the bracket now to the final moments. Hope everybody's ready. This should be a good race. Calco pulling out a PB in his last tournament showing. Maybe Icterus can do the same. Maybe we'll get a double PB.
Would be nice. You never know. This is anybody's race, really. You can see their PBs are very, very close.
It really is. And not to put any pressure on the runners, or actually to intentionally put more pressures on the runner, I'll add 1,000 bits to the pot for each runner that gets under a 143 in their run. And if anybody PBs, I'll drop $50 to the winner pot.
Nice, nice. Great incentive.
All right. Looks like they're about to begin any moment, and they're off. Good luck, runners. Godspeed, Crom speed, whatever you prefer.
And if I'm not mistaken, they're both running on J1.0.
It does appear to be so.
So same version, no version differences?
I believe they both run hasty. Actually, is Icterus patient? He might be patient.
No, I don't think so.
No. There's actually enough patient runners now that I'm getting confused.
Yeah, it's a wild time in the Yoshi community. We'll find out in 1-3.
This is true. And we're off. Let's see who goes for the frame perfect jump off the rotating wheel. Oh,
looks like Icterus not even going for it, just doing the standard Shy Guy up spit.
Respectable. It is a tournament setting. Calco did go for it, but didn't quite get it. And we've got 1-1 in the bag. Moving on to 1-2, the Great Reset. But since it's tournament, no one actually is going to reset. So let's see how many attempts it takes. I'm gonna say 2 apiece. I think that's where we're gonna be. 2 apiece to get over the 1-2 wall. I think
I'm thinking it'll be either 1 or 3.
That sounds like a fair estimation.
But this is definitely probably the first point where you can gain a little bit of time.
Ooh, 1? Oh, yep. Double 1s.
First try for both, very nice. I expect nothing less, of course, from these two.
Seriously. I still can't believe Calco PB'd his last tournament run.
Yeah, talk about me having no chance, PB.
Dude. What can you do?
Not much.
Yeah. You can't even be mad at that. It's just like, okay, well, you know what? If you're going to PB, congrats. We got 1 pipe glitch on Calco.
Gonna change controls here by spinning a Shy Guy into the info block. And both of them avoiding the red coins in that section.
You always want to avoid as many flowers and red coins as possible, because they tally up with the score screen and cost you time. The first one of each is always the most important to dodge. After that, it's about a frame loss per beyond the first. That's right, Fiona. It takes a PB to beat MT in a race. That's literally what it takes. And just like that, we're already up to our boss of 1-4. I feel like I blinked and 1-3 was gone. Let's see who goes, if anyone takes the up route here. Oh, Calco does. A very minor time save, but you take what you can get. Especially when you have racers of this caliber, every half second counts. Is it a half second save going up route?
Yeah, but then he had bad luck with the flame and had to tongue it, so he lost. He ended up losing time.
Unfortunate.
But I mean, you know, it's a dice roll. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose.
Good egg shot. Good key from both runners. Oh no! Calco lost the key.
Losing the key in the lava. That is bad. That's,
no! Does he have to go down the pipe now?
Yes.
Oh no!
He might actually have to die. I'm not sure. It's been so long since I've.
I think he just has to go. Yeah, I think he can just go up in and out of the pipe because the pot will respawn.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, we're good now. Recovered. It's fine.
But Icterus now has a solid lead.
Yes. What, maybe about like a 20-second at least at this point now?
We'll keep an eye out for the boss explosion for each player, and then we'll see exactly how big of a gap there is.
Definitely plenty of time to make up ground, but not where you want to be at the end of 1-4 for sure. Especially after first try 1-2s and...
Yep. 5-4 could have a much bigger impact, so we'll see.
5-24 for Icterus. About 22 seconds.
Definitely a meaningful gap at these players' level.
Yes. We'll see if that key comes back to bite him in the end. Or if it makes this race close. We shall see. Meanwhile, everybody dance out to the best theme in any game ever.
Yeah, first auto-scroller here, so we have time for donate... Oh, sorry. Wrong event.
First time Germany, second time France. Always a good opportunity to warm up your skills, get the fuzzies out of your system. It's a good break in a race or tournament just to, shake the nerves out during an auto-scroller.
Yep, that you can get some perfect flare practice in.
When are we going to find a way to break 1-5 and just run through the stage?
In Warpless, I'd say never.
Probably not. Probably, I don't even know how. You'd have to somehow get an aced egg or something to glitch it, and just the sheer thought mechanics of it just make my head hurt.
Yeah,
I leave such things to smarter people.
I don't think that we know of any way to stop an auto-scroller once it's started. The main auto-scroll skips are just, either scrolling the
Somehow
screen
bypassing
so
the trigger.
yeah, it's making it so that the auto scroll sprite doesn't spawn, or maybe having the sprite table
Mhm.
full so that it can't spawn. But once it's started, I don't think we know of any way to stop it, which I think is what we would need for 1.5.
Unless this is just my brain doing brain things. Unless you could maybe somehow find a way to, I don't know what the barriers look like on the edges of the screen, but if you could somehow like out of bounds the screen and then somehow blind navigate your way to the end, maybe? That's just...
Yes, that sounds perfectly plausible, theoretically.
Theoretically. Not mechanically, but yeah, in theory that could work if it was possible. Alright, let's see who goes for the ideal. Is this a new thing they're doing now? Where they go the up route to jump on the stilt guy?
I don't really understand it myself.
It looks, maybe I'm wrong, but it looks slower to me. You're like going for the ideal jump, but you have to go up to do it, so you're probably losing about half a second.
Yeah, it definitely loses time on. Let's see what Calco does here. He'll probably egg the
Yeah,
So
see,
that's
that's the strat I was thinking of, the ideal, but oh, not quite.
Doesn't get the
A little
height.
short. Yeah.
Has to use the lantern guy.
And now icterus coming to everybody's favorite, touch fuzzy, get LSD. I mean dizzy. Let's see. Let's see who attended their dare session at school. If you're out of the States, when we say dare here, it's just an anti-drug campaign that they do at local schools.
Yep, definitely big back in the 90s.
I heard they're bringing it back with all like the fentanyl craziness that's going around.
Really? Interesting.
Yeah.
See how Calco does. Each fuzzy you hit, the game pauses for about 15 frames, so he's at 60 frames lost from fuzzy so far, but he didn't lose any speed, so not a big deal. Not going to make or break anything.
Yeah. And now we're coming into 1-8. Coming up soon, you're going to see icterus jump over some water and then have to make some precise egg shots to hit a switch to rotate some platforms. I imagine he'll probably go for the ideal strat of locking in his egg angle before he gets there. Yeah. So you see him take a kind of a shallow jump here. Oh, ding. Well, went a little too high on his jump and ended up going up the incline, but still hit it with the egg. So only a minor loss there. And navigating through to the key door. We'll see how Calco fares. Calco desperately trying to make up some time from his 1-4 loss. Oh, icterus having a little trouble with the arrow.
A little bit of platforming problems. See Calco executing the strat properly.
And not clipping the edge of the platform on his little short flutter. Very ideal. Now icterus is starting the boss salvo. There's a lot of variation and a lot of different ways to fight this boss. You can kill him before he does his first set of iframes, which is obviously ideal, but it requires a lot of luck and some very precise egg shots. But let's see how each runner fares.
Icterus just going for like the standard 5-shot or so. It is possible to do it with 3 eggs before he goes invulnerable, like Kothor said, but very, very hard and not something you would expect in a race.
Yeah, very sturdy fight. No problems detected. And a 240 boss explosion. Well, very good fight from Calco.
Yep, Calco with a 4-shot, very nice.
And making up a little bit of time. He's down to about a 15-second gap.
Pretty good. Calco can definitely slowly make up this time lost, even if icterus is playing like PB pace. Calco still has that ability to slowly claw back some time.
Yes, and there's lots of opportunities in World 2. Lots of little areas that can accumulate a lot of time.
Yep. There'll be a couple pipe glitches coming up. Icterus, it'll be interesting to see. Looks like he's going to go for the double shell bounce here. We'll see if he goes for it. Oh, no.
Does that actually save time?
It does. But
Does
it's
it?
very difficult. So there's a first pipe glitch there. If you fail that pipe glitch, you are losing about, what, 5, 6, 7 seconds or something.
Yeah, about 7. But he gets it clean. Let's see what Calco opts for. If he's gonna risk it for the biscuit. Oh. It wasn't even a shell, that was just a Koopa. Okay. A little extra butt pound from Calco, but he gets his pipe glitch somewhat cleanly.
Much, much better than accidentally going down the pipe.
Yes. I'm curious, when you do your pipe glitch, do you do 2 thumb strat or do you do a one-handed strat?
I do 2 thumbs.
I do one hand. I position it so I use my pinky finger and my pointer finger, and I just jam my hand forward at the same time with both fingers resting on the buttons.
Yeah,
that way I only have to rely on one appendage being in sync as opposed to syncing both my thumbs.
Yeah, the way that I do it is I put both thumbs like very far away from the controller and just slam both buttons like as fast.
Hey, whatever works.
But oh, Calco rubbing that rock a little bit there. But besides that, pretty good 2-1s.
And now we come to 2-2. Probably the first truly difficult speed stage of the game. Lots of little tricks to do here, lots of precise flutters, spits, egg shots. Just a very technical level. And you're going to see him walk backwards into the Shy Guy so that they trigger this Toady to spawn, which they're going to use shortly to get up and over a pillar after a very nice perfect flutter from Icterus to get up cleanly. And now you're going to see that Toady come in handy. With a quick up spit and a bounce, he's up and over this pipe, and we thereby bypass having to use Super Baby Mario, saving us about maybe 30 seconds, maybe more.
Calco accidentally grabbing a red coin there, so that's like 30 frames lost. Icterus managed to skip it. Icterus taking the intended route.
Calco scaring me a little bit there. He almost looked like he wasn't going to make it over the pillar, but he makes it after a retry.
I think Calco is going to go for the optimal strat here with the Shy Guy upspit and the perfect flutter at the same time. Very nice.
Maybe very nice, Calco. Not a huge time save, but take it where you can get it.
Victor's going for a backsteer here. Shot a little bit too early.
Little Barbarian would like to say hi. Say hi, buddy.
Hi.
What do you think? Who's going to win, Alex? Do you think Calco or Icterus is going to win?
Calco?
You think Calco? Okay. What do you base that on? Exactly. All right, so Little Barbarian thinks Calco's going to pull it out.
Very, very strong endorsement.
I agree. Calco, you've got a fan. He's okay.
Icterus getting through 2-3.
Hello. Dad.
What are they doing now?
Hey.
A tiny baby Mario. You know Mario. Alex has become quite a big fan of the Kirby games as of late. I think there's actually a new Kirby game coming out later this week. Well, I say new, I think a remake of the...
New-ish.
Hello. Yeah.
Not really a remake. You probably could consider it a remaster. But you'll see our runners use Super Baby Mario here, and when you use Super Baby Mario, you, like all the other Mario games, you have to hold Y to run. She runs at max speed by default. Baby Mario, you gotta hold Y. And you also notice that they were jumping on slopes. When Baby Mario does that, he'll get a little burst of speed. Now we come to 2-4. Ooh! And here you're going to see our first instance of a gate hack. When you neutral an egg upwards, it actually travels slightly upwards. So you're going to see them use this mechanic to use the egg to open the gate. And very clean from it.
And Calco getting the perfect flutter first try as well. Very nice.
Mm-hmm. And Icterus entering the boss room. As with any Boo in any Mario game, you gotta hit him when you're not looking at him. So you're just gonna see Icterus ricochet a few eggs to hit him while he's not looking, but he's gotta be careful. He can't use red eggs to do it, so he has to have minimal reflections and only spawn coins, or else he's gonna create a lot of lag and slow the boss fight down.
And looks like Calco about 22 seconds behind.
Hmm.
Oh, Calco making some stars. Not the best situation.
Yeah, you can visibly see how much slower it is when there's a star around. Stars especially create a lot of lag. They, unlike a lot of other things, have a, what do you want to call it, a greater render distance. They stay in memory even if they're off screen compared to a lot of other things.
Yes, and that'll come into play in just a couple levels. So we'll see that a bit later where that's actually used to save time.
Now our runner's making through probably my favorite stage of the game. It's just a nice, quick run and gun stage. Very short, but very fun. Oh, Calco missing the turtle shell jump. But a quick backup. No issues.
Skipping the red coins in this level?
You can get no red coins. It's very hard, though. It all depends on this. Okay, very nice from Calco. He went under that red coin.
Collecting 2. I think Calco has avoided them all so far.
Icterus entering the first real puzzle stage of the game as Shiggy intended it. But if you know exactly where to go, it's not really much of a puzzle or maze at all. Maybe more so for the hundo players, but not for the any percenters. And as you're coming out of that water, you don't have to time your jump as you would instinctively think. If you just hold B, you'll jump at the perfect frame to get out of that water. You'll also notice at the end of every stage, our runners try to land as close to the bottom of the goal ring as possible. It saves a little bit of time, but it's less distance Yoshi has to fall when you hear that final dunk. So every frame counts. Every frame is sacred.
And there's a definite balance where you don't want to be too low because then you'll just go past and you'll lose way more time than you would save. So
yes,
there's a bit of a balance there in how risky you want to be with it.
And that star mechanic me and MT were talking about earlier, where they stay rendered and eat up a lot of memory, you're going to see Icterus make a bunch of stars with a giant egg and where those two little holes were in the wall were supposed to be bullet bills launchers. And so by creating a whole bunch of sprites, he was able to overload them. Oh, and he makes it under the dream. Well done, Icterus.
Nice job.
That trick always scares me.
Oh yeah.
So easy to die there.
We'll see Calco do the same thing here. Just trying to fill up the sprite table so that the bullet bills can't spawn. Doing the recently found optimization where you fire an egg to clear out some of the foam so you don't have to left-right or right-left.
Sadly, very nice. Also the dream from Calco, but no swag car from Icterus. I'm a little sad.
Yeah, not something I was expecting to see, but little disappointing nonetheless.
Mm. Maybe they'll swag ball it in World 5 and make us both happy. Probably not.
Something you love to see, but don't expect to.
Yes. Just for the hype. Both runners, sadly but successfully dodging the car. And now we come to 2-8, probably the longest stage up until this point. A lot of back and forth, and you're going to see them go into the stage with a full complement of eggs that they're going to be using in a little bit to shoot a jar to get a key.
Icterus shooting that flame so he can start his flutters a little bit later, which saves a little bit of time.
Also dodging the flower successfully. Let's see if he goes... if you time your jump just around that yellow platform, you can catapult yourself up and over the ring and save a little bit of time. Also having a little bit of trouble on his perfect jump out or pipe glitch. But
Second
he didn't
try,
go down.
not bad. Yeah. Going down is the worst thing that can happen.
Yes. Calco opting not to shoot the flame, but take his flutters just a tiny bit farther back.
Icterus getting ready to unleash all these eggs on this pot to get it as far right as possible before pushing it. And also doing it in such a way that the missiles are not directly in his way, so he doesn't have to slow down or anything.
Calco and Icterus entering and leaving the same room at about the same time.
See if Calco can manage to do this without having to stop or slow down. Looks like he
Calco
does.
came in with only 5 eggs, so he's going a little less than Icterus, but still ideal, missing the missiles.
This is a bit of a tough screen. Getting hit there, not a big deal. You kind of expect it. There's a 1-frame window to where you can jump under that spike ball without getting hit.
Oh, Icterus spinning the wrong direction, having to go back for some eggs.
An opportunity for Calco to make up some time if he can execute that strat correctly the first time.
Not quite the ideal arrow from Icterus either, so losing a tiny bit of time there on a readjustment. So Calco with an opportunity to gain some time here. Using an extra egg.
Ooh.
Okay. Alright.
Not optimal,
What?
but faster than Icterus for sure.
Yeah, and getting an ideal arrow here, so he will not have to readjust there. So gaining a few seconds on Icterus in this screen. But really it all comes down to who gets the off-screen key. I need a direct line with the runners so I can harass them while they run. So I've seen a couple different strats for how to start this fight. Ideally, you just kind of want to time your movements so that you dodge the flames and are able to push as much as possible. But I've seen a couple variations on it. See Calco there starting with a jump.
And
not something
doing
I'm
like
used to
2
seeing.
ducks.
Yeah.
Very, very, very wide variety of strats for this fight, I guess. Although I don't think it makes much of a time difference.
I don't think so. Because you're still ideally pushing him over by the time he spits that third flame.
Mm-hmm. Looks like both players got the bonk frame at the end of the fight, so that means if you see Calco's screen, Yoshi can exit the screen faster and it saves some time. It doesn't look like he got it there.
Oh, when did that? Oh, that's new to me. I didn't know that was a thing. If you land on the bonk frame,
you'll see Yoshi kind of he disappears faster rather than having to move all the way to the right of the screen. It doesn't always seem to work though. It didn't seem like it worked for Calco, and I did it a couple days ago and it didn't seem to work. So I don't know. I need to look into that more.
maybe like the screen has to be all the way to the left and not shift over when you do it or something. I don't know.
It could be something like that. But if you're interested, you can check out Saku's world record. Most likely has that in there.
Yeah, probably.
If you ever want to see what that looks like. (3-1). We got a lot of monkeys, a lot of mud.
Yep, the monkeys aren't too vicious in 3-1. They get nastier later. I don't think any of them can grab Mario in 3-1, but later on they can. They'll just drive by, steal your baby, and you have to chase them down, and they laugh at you, and then it's like you're back at Philadelphia again, and things just get weird, and yeah.
Icterus exiting 3-1 with a red egg. He's going to take that all the way to 3-4. We'll see if... looks like Calco not doing the same. And also Coltor, neither player skipping that one red coin.
Disappointing. So yeah, you're gonna see at least Icterus. I don't know if Calco does it, but we're starting to see them gather red eggs, and they're going to be using this in 3-4 because there's a mandatory middle ring that you have to get in 3-4. So they're going to intentionally get as many stars as possible, ideally 30, so that they can minimize the time that they end up in a mandatory middle ring.
Then that'll also be a thing in 5-4 as well. They're going to try to get as many.
Very nice Shy Guy spit from Icterus, actually hitting the tap-tap along with the spear guys.
And 5-4, they're probably going to grab the middle ring before 5-4 skip for sure, so they'll also try to collect stars to minimize the time spent in that save ring.
I feel like it's just more of a... I mean, yeah, definitely do it in a tournament race setting, but do you even take, like, if you're just doing a solo run, do you even take the middle ring anymore?
No.
Yeah.
If you don't get 5-4 first try with at the level that these guys are at, the run's dead.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, maybe you make it up with a big fat 6-7 skip, but yeah.
True.
That's hoping for a lot. We still haven't seen 6-7 done in a full run, have we?
I don't believe we have.
Not to my knowledge, but... I know it's in the IL, but not in a full run.
Icterus attempting to hit that Shy Guy as it's coming out of the pipe to avoid fluttering, but has to flutter anyway. Gets the helicopter skip first try, though. Very nice.
Well done.
Normally,
it's about a 7-second save, I think, if you compared to getting the helicopter.
Something like that, yeah. But as you can see, that's only a 1 block height gap, and Yoshi's 2 blocks high. But if you duck and then hold left when you bounce off the monkey, sometimes it's possible to get enough distance that you fit into that little gap while you're still ducked.
Calco also getting it first try, but had to readjust his monkey twice. That sounds way more sexual than it should, but it's okay.
Icterus doing some camera manipulation to spawn that spike ball later so he can get through without getting hit. We'll see if Calco goes through the same thing. Another very, very minor time save.
I tried learning it, and I was able to do it, but I stopped doing it altogether. It just didn't seem worth it to me. It wasn't worth the hassle.
Calco getting it as well. Yeah, it's kind of tough. It's possible to do it without losing too much speed and without kind of like waiting, but it's a lot more difficult. So it's
Ooh,
There-
Frog grabbing Mario off of Icterus.
and
Icterus
going through the
scrambling.
stairs.
Oh no.
Yeah, that is the worst thing that can happen in that situation. The frog grabs Mario and jumps through the stairs.
Alright, Calco getting cleanly over the frog. Making up some time.
Definitely making up some time there.
$3.12 for stage select for Icterus.
Icterus gonna make some stars here, neutral into the monkey. Only got one, but it's okay. You kind of take what you can get.
Yeah, Calco at about 14 seconds behind, so definitely made up some time.
Both Calco and Icterus entering the second room with 13 stars.
Calco not able to grab his red egg.
That's kind of the most demanding thing about this level is managing the stars and the eggs and like the right positions and remembering how many eggs you have and all that stuff.
Calco falling into the water, but continuing to jump out. Now, I understood, unless something's changed, I understood that once you fall in, the best thing to do is just stay in the water, because continuing to jump just makes it worse.
I believe the jump and then one flutter strat is the fastest way to do it.
Okay.
It's not by much. So it looks like both of them with around 21 stars, and then you'll see Calco shooting that cloud to get up to 26. You saw Icterus go through the savoring, and it didn't take as much time as it normally would because he was at like 26 stars. Same thing with Calco.
And now we come to Prince Froggy. This fight has evolved a lot over the years. It used to be a guaranteed 7-shot because they would bank it off the sides and it would then come back and hit the uvula. But a few years ago, it was discovered that if you lock in at about a 45 angle and then shoot from as far to the left or right as you can get a guaranteed 6 with a chance at a 5-shot fight.
Yep. You'll see Icterus doing exactly that right here. You have to react to the little drops, so it's a very reaction heavy fight.
Looks like Icterus had to take a 7 because he kind of lost his footing there and had to use a bank shot. Ooh, I think that was a 5 from Calco.
Was that 5?
I think it was.
But I'm not sure.
It looked like a 5. Because normally, if it's a 6, you'll just kind of go for the bank shot on the 6th. So I think that was a 5 from Calco.
We'll see. 59 for Icterus on transition. Looks like Calco only about 6 seconds behind.
Making up time.
Icterus grabbing eggs at the start. Calco is going to do a faster strat.
Oh, interesting.
Not the cleanest, but I think that was still at least the same time as Icterus, if not a little faster.
Yeah, it looked pretty similar. Going for more of an IL style strat from Calco.
Both of them avoiding red coins as well. That's kind of tough to do in this level. There's a couple red coins that are hard to skip.
Nice little bit of swag from Icterus. Cleanly jumping over the red coins.
Gonna upspit this monkey to try and knock the shy guy out of the way, so you have less of a slowdown. Calco doing the same thing. Icterus had to collect 1 red coin. Calco not collecting any, so that's another 30 frames saved.
Now we come to the lair of Harry the Hedgehog. There's actually, you'll see both our runners almost guaranteedly take the down route here, but there is an alternate up route you could take where you go up and over a post, but down is definitely faster, so we'll see that from both of these runners here.
Both of them getting the key tongue as well. Very nice.
Very nice indeed. Very clean from Icterus, getting the bounce. And from Calco, very good. Good platforming heading on up. Very good 3-6s from both runners. Aw. Icterus trying to set up a Baxter.
Calco closing the gap a little bit more. It looks like about only 5 seconds behind now.
Mm-hmm.
Very, very close at this point in the game.
Yeah, it could take a single hit for a lead change at this point. Now coming into 3-7 for both of our runners. Hoping for some good fish RNG. There isn't a lot of RNG in Yoshi's Island, but one of the few areas you will see it is the fish. They can jump at various times, spawn in different places, so one of the small places. Ooh, Icterus getting excellent RNG, getting the final jumping fish is what you want to see, and from Calco. Good RNG from both runners.
Optimal.
Hopefully that continues here, maybe. And up and over for both our runners. Shout out to Shiggy for not putting walls up to infinity.
True. See Icterus do a hot door despawn here by up-spitting that shy guy. It prevents the door from loading. And just nice platforming.
Well done, runners. And now we come to the great oh my of World 3. We don't actually fight the boss here. The true boss is the piranha before the boss. But you're going to see a lot of interesting clips and clever egg shots from our runners in this stage. There's some places where as an enemy spawns, it grows rapidly, so you're going to see them slow down and try to shoot an egg to hit it as it's growing and try to get it in the smallest position possible so they can just jump over it. Quick
And
slowdown here.
Lots of opportunities to lose time on this stage.
Yes. I'm curious how many eggs each runner takes.
Icterus is going to grab one from both blocks, and then he's going to grab one of the spike balls from the piranha. Looks like Calco doing the same thing. Icterus is very strong at this stage. I know he's done the IL for this a lot. Oh. I think he hit the wall, so he just abandoned the strat. You'll see Calco grabbing a projectile there, and then shooting the ghost off screen to keep it small.
Icterus backtracking for an extra egg. Okay. Both runners through the final boss. And yep, Icterus stopping for an extra egg. I don't blame him. That's balls of steel. Balls of steel to go in with one egg, but yeah, now giving Calco the lead.
Oh.
Oh. Okay.
And
Calco.
Icterus taking the lead back. Calco missing his first shot, playing it safe, and jumping on top of the platform just to make sure.
About a 1.5, 2 second difference between the runners now.
Yep, the lead changes can happen that fast.
Mm-hmm. Calco snapping at his heels.
Then we got World 4 coming up. More difficult than World 3, in my opinion.
Oh, definitely.
4-4, very difficult level to execute.
Yes, and probably And definitely the longest stage up until this point. I think even longer than 2-8.
Yes.
Not the longest stage in the game, but the longest non-auto scroller, I'll say.
I believe that it is.
4-1 also being the second stage that we get to see Fuzzy again. Now this one poses a little more danger than 1-7. If our runners get fuzzied, you'll see that as we see Icterus and Calco getting fuzzied, they can potentially clip through the floor.
Yep.
As the level is bending, it creates some opportunities for, as you're running across, to just fall straight through. So, but fortunately, both runners getting through cleanly, and looking like Calco picking up a little bit of a lead, and both runners taking the up route.
Yep. Calco definitely not having as bad of a time with the fuzzies as Icterus did. So, off to a solid, I don't know, 5 seconds or so? No, less than that.
39.
About a 3-second lead?
Yeah, about 2 or 3 seconds.
Yeah, those fuzzy sections, very easy to lose some time if you get like bad patterns and you're forced to slow down or use eggs even.
Or take a few safety flutters just so you're not touching the platforms.
Yes. Or 2, pretty straightforward. Just good movement and platforming. Navigating stairs cleanly.
Yeah, nothing too crazy going on here. Unless you do the poor strat and go up and over the pillar just for fun. So this level does present a free opportunity to see a Baxter at the end if both runners decide to take advantage of it. It saves no time whatsoever, but it lets us talk about Baxters. So don't let us down, guys.
It also doesn't lose any time.
That is true. Calco unable to take eggs, and Icterus, thank you Icterus, showing off the move that we call a Baxter, where you are able to shoot an egg and tongue it and pass it directly to the next Yoshi. This is a skill that you can use in some categories to trigger glitches, and later on in this world we'll talk about a chicken Baxter, but we'll talk about that later.
Mm-hmm. For 3, there's going to be a shell jump right at the beginning here, up spit, and then another up spit, and then get an extended flutter from the shell. Getting hit is okay, because he still has enough height to get on the platform. Icterus getting the same thing.
Having to take a little bit of an extra flutter, but it's the same as Calco, so it's a wash.
And both players avoiding that red coin fly guy.
Although now you'll see Calco intentionally destroying some of these balloons and some of these enemies, because later on, towards the end of the screen, it gets very laggy with all the sprites that are loaded. You'll see him dump some eggs, kill some sprites, all for the sake of reducing lag.
Yep, you don't want to have more than 3 eggs in this section, and you need to eat the balloons if you have 3 eggs.
And a second Baxter from Icterus.
Very nice. That's one of my favorite ones.
And now we come to 4-4, Marching Mild. The stage is split up into 4 main areas once you get inside the fortress. Each corner contains a key that you have to navigate through to find, and then you take all the keys to get to the boss. Each section having its own little thematic, I don't know what the word I'm looking for is, thematic, not treachery, danger as you go through each section.
Yep. Very tricky stage, easy to lose a lot of time here. Very
I've
easy.
seen a few people do it where they don't butt slam as you're entering, as we're seeing Icterus do here. Yeah. Is there a big time difference between the two? Or is this more preference?
Big no, but I believe it is slightly faster.
Now you'll see Calco stopping to ricochet some eggs, Bandit grabbing a little bit of Mario, but overall pretty clean foam section. Very nice foam section from Icterus. Taking a bit of a hit. Oh. Almost a lead change.
Yep, a lot of situations like that where you get hit, and that can happen, 4 or 5 times on the stage, and then suddenly you're 10 seconds.
Oh, they are just neck and neck. Look at this sink.
Yep.
Oh my god.
Amazing.
Jokes on everybody watching, we've actually just doubled Calco's feed for both. Literally impossible to tell the difference.
Grabbing a Sniffit here, and they're gonna egg this guy, upspit the Sniffit, get the extended flutter to skip taking the arrow lift.
And a perfect flutter from both as I grab the key. Now I'll see who goes up and who goes down. Both going up. I like to go down, just because, just personal preference, but I also like to go for bucket skip, so if I'm doing that, I'm taking down first.
For sure.
Nice neutral there to clear out the whole left side of the foam.
Very clean from Icterus.
Yeah, ooh, Calco taking a bit of a hit. Having to fully kill the piranha plant, losing some time.
Yeah,
it's
just
okay,
another
Calco.
one of those examples of it's very easy to bleed time in this level.
Yeah, it's okay, Calco. Just get that bucket skip and you're back on track, my dude. Oh. One day.
And bucket skip, if you don't know, it's like a 2-frame window, so that's why you're probably not going to see it in a race unless they go there right after getting the save ring.
It does save about 3 seconds, so it's a decent save, but it is... If you're not paying attention, it's very easy to die, but you can notice, at least early on, if you're not going to hit it right, and you can kind of back out and change your mind up to a point. But,
yeah, it's definitely like an option select strat. You got to react, or you put yourself in a situation where if you're too low, you can still go back and get the bucket.
Yeah. And now we're coming up on the boss, and it'll be... I imagine both runners will go for the triple stomp, which is the fastest, but there are several alternate strats to fighting this boss. Basically, he shows up as one giant Kirby, and you have to ground slam on top of him, which splits him in half. And then you repeat that process until he gets down to a normal milled size, and then you just egg shot the remainders. But there's lots of ways to manipulate him so that he moves in the correct position, so you can hit multiples of them at the same time. So we'll see how each runner handles it. So Icterus probably going for the triple here with an egg shot. Very nice.
Nice.
Ooh,
and
very clean.
The perfect egg shot afterwards. Calco also getting the triple. Let's see if he can get the egg shot.
Ooh. Calco determined to keep pace.
It's like Calco 5 or 6 seconds behind, still very, very close.
Yep, about 5 or 6.
Icterus going for the backwards acceleration at the start.
Now, the whole theme of this stage was supposed to be that you push that rock that you start with all the way to the bottom, but obviously we don't do that. We don't even really touch a rock this whole time. Ooh.
Oh, Icterus getting hit by the Koopa there. That does happen sometimes. Not able to get it over.
Uh-oh. Lead change.
Just like that.
Okay, he made it that time. He had me a little worried that he might have to go back a second time, but we're through.
That is something that can happen sometimes. You just don't have quite enough height, and then you just get hit by that Koopa. It's very tough. Calco getting the shell spit, Icterus getting it as well.
Very clean 4-5 from Calco, and taking the lead from it. About 21 score screen. And literally reversing the time.
Yeah,
Now
about 5 or
Calco
6
with about the
seconds.
6 or 7 lead.
4-6, another just basically just platforming.
Yep. A little bit of possible fish issues in this stage, especially later on, that can possibly mess with you. There's just sometimes they'll just jump, and there's just no avoiding it. So we'll see how both fare with the fish. And a nice little shell spit from Calco to save a few frames.
Icterus spitting the shell too early,
Oh.
having some trouble with the bouncy ball. Manages to get through though. The section that Calco is coming into.
There you go. Icterus getting wrecked by the fish. There's just you can't react fast enough. Very nice crab kill from Calco.
Yep, no issues with the RNG fish either. Icterus, that's exactly what we were talking about with the randomness of the fish.
Almost getting a third time, but he reacted to it. Suddenly the game hates Icterus.
Yeah, we'll see. Maybe Calco gets bad Raphael luck. You never know.
This is true. Watch, he'll get standstill and it'll be hilarious. He'll get the best luck, but at the same time, it'll be the worst thing that could have happened. Because nobody's ready for standing still, Raph.
So you've seen some Baxters so far. It's not really important for eggs, but it is important for other items like chickens or keys or big eggs. Normally, when you go through a goal ring with those in the inventory, they will turn into a coin and be destroyed. But in this level, there is a method to get a chicken through the goal ring and take it to the next stage. They have to do a little bit of sprite setup, and then they have to aim the chicken and cancel it on a certain frame as they enter the goal ring. So we'll see what happens. It is required to throw an egg right after the last set of coins and flower spawn.
No chicken for Calco.
Icterus can make some time up if he gets it. It's going to
Yeah,
be
it's
the
a
same thing.
10-second save on the final boss if you get it.
Oh, Icterus gets it. That's just what he needed.
Beautiful.
So now that he has the chicken, he's going to have to manage it carefully in this next level, because if he throws it at the wrong point, he'll just lose it completely, and then he won't get the big time save on the boss fight.
Yeah, so you'll see him carefully cycle it through towards the back.
We should see him neutral it after destroying the first block.
Also seeing Calco use a green shell to get some iframes so he can clip through the spiky ball as it descends. And an excellent egg or shell spit and jump.
Yep, Icterus just using the chicken to destroy the first block. I suppose that works fine. Calco spitting a shell there just to cut his flutter a little early. Without the shell, you have to do like a full flutter through there. Icterus doing the same thing.
And now coming up to a block clear section, you're going to want to see each runner's going to want to go through. Well, Calco's going to want to go through and make sure he has 4 eggs for the boss fight. Icterus could care less. He's got a chicken. But he just has to make sure he doesn't lose the chicken here and shoot it unnecessarily.
It looks like Calco only has 3 eggs, which means he's going to have to stomp on...
Uh-oh, does he?
Yeah, it looks like he'll have to stomp on Hookbill's head before starting the fight, so...
Oh, I think you're right.
Icterus in an even better spot here to gain some time.
Yeah. Not a huge loss of time, but it's definitely something. And in a game of inches...
matters. Yep.
Yeah. And we're probably not going to see... Well, we might see rocket jump from Icterus. Chicken does make it a little bit harder, but normally it takes 4 eggs to knock Hookbill on his back. But as you're going to see on Icterus' screen, with chicken you can do it in 1.
Oh, Calco
Oh,
not
he
realizing.
forgot.
He didn't realize.
Oh, no. Oh, this is
Icterus
bad.
trying to take the lead here.
Take a commanding lead.
And you'll see just how fast this fight is. Look, one shot, he's down.
Calco needs to also be sure to not go for rocket jump now that he's messed it up. If you go for those familiar with rocket jump, if you ground slam on, you'll probably see it on Icterus' screen. If you ground slam on Hookbill as he's falling, you'll blast off like that, off into the screen. It's just for fun, it looks cool. But if you attempt it after you've messed it up, you could potentially be losing a lot of time and put yourself into a bit of a glitch state where you're just ascending forever and the key never comes. Well, it'll come eventually, but you lose a lot of time.
Yep, looks like Icterus about 15 seconds ahead now.
Yeah, not as big of a lead as I thought it was going to be, but still, that's a fairly sizable lead and a big lead change. He was sitting about maybe like 10 behind, maybe not even that. So about a 25-second swing.
And a very, very good example of how fast the chicken makes that fight.
Yeah.
(5-1). Apologies in advance for the snow.
We enter the world of ice physics. Because you gotta have it, apparently. Now you'll see Icterus riding the cloud and pushing up at just the right time here and again to spawn a second Calco2 to grab his cloud and ascend it all the way to the top of the hill.
Encoders hate snow. Apologies.
Ooh, oh. Icterus getting a little hate from the penguins. Now we come to some real ice physics. You're going to see Icterus having to do some well-timed egg shots to clear out some of the stalactites.
Doesn't quite get it, but there's an easy backup that doesn't hardly lose any time. See if Calco can get the egg shot. Nice.
Ooh, very nice. I'll just see Icterus dodging flowers and dodging coins. And also running on the snow as little as possible. Unlike normal ground, running on snow does slow you down just like it would running in mud. So you'll see them constantly jumping. And now coming into 5-2, something ski lifts. Possible chance for a swag ball here, but I don't think we'll see it. Also grabbing the secret out of bounds egg. I want to know what designer or developer was like, you know what we need right here? An egg that's off screen that no one's ever going to see. And why do you want it there? I really want it there. Okay. Ooh. Very precise penguin placement from Calco. I've never seen people put that penguin right on the edge there.
Yep. A little bit slower than what Icterus did, but it's way more consistent. You don't have to do the perfect flutter.
Also, Icterus despawning the middle ring, using all those clouds to create stars.
Calco doing the same.
Yeah. Not saving a lot of time, but does save you a jump. So still good.
Getting rid of some... Got rid of one egg. Really should have gotten rid of some more, but it's okay.
Does that matter too much going into 5-3?
So each egg that you bring into a level adds some additional lag frames. So it's like 2 or 3 frames per egg.
Hmm.
So if you don't need to bring the eggs over, you shouldn't.
Fair enough. Now entering 5-3, every runner's most hated level at any stage. It's just so easy to die and lose time here. Lots of ice physics, lots of chances to slip.
Yep, bumpties can just knock you off a lot of different platforms. There's tons of places to die here.
Icterus getting through cleanly.
Calco going through as well.
Oh god.
Yep.
My heart
And-
jumped.
And there's actually, you can make eggs. There's 2 enemies in that room that Calco was just in that you can make eggs, and neither runner made eggs from either of them. So that's just like another, you know, you have an opportunity to make some eggs there instead of bringing them from the previous level.
Okay. Each runner doing a mandatory safety duck, going under those blue spikes just to make sure they get through. I don't
Very,
blame
very
them.
minor time loss.
Yeah,
It's worth the safety for sure.
absolutely. Now, the ski section is another one I've seen evolve a lot over the years, so I'm interested to see how each runner handles it. In some places, you want to take intentionally, you want to intentionally run into rocks, because when you're rolling in that snowball form, you don't lose time going uphill like you would when you're just skiing normally, so you can save a few frames by taking intentional hits.
And I believe you slow down a little bit from jumping, so I think if you get hit, I don't think you lose as much speed there either.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Oh,
heartbreaking.
no.
jumping the not
Oh,
quite the right time.
no. Oh.
Has to start from the beginning, and just like
Oof.
that,
At
this is
this is a
Icterus's
huge.
race to lose.
This is. I mean, anything can happen because 5-4 is coming up, but unless Icterus struggles on 5-4, that is a huge loss for Calco. We're talking that's probably at least like a 2-minute loss going through the whole stage and making it to the ski section, maybe more. Damn you, 5-3.
Yep, perfect example of one of the many places that this level can kind of screw you over.
At any level, this stage can bite you. Any level. Icterus almost got a bonus. Alright, well, Icterus now making his way through the infamous 5-4 towards a 5-4 skip.
And he's going to be making as many stars as he can.
Yep.
It's up to 26. He's gonna try to make some from this ghost guy right here.
27. No eggs for this last ghost. So getting 27, not bad.
27's
Not
pretty
bad
good.
at all. Calco returning to the ski section. Hopefully it goes better for him second time. What happened? Did he just jump too early on that last slope? Is that what got him?
I'd have to go back and check.
Yeah.
He
Well,
jumped at a spot that I normally don't see people jump at.
alright. Icterus now attempting his first 5-4 skip attempt. I don't know if which strat Icterus goes with. You have a couple options with this strat. You can take the Shy Guy,
He's
or
gonna go
you
all
can
the way
do no
for that.
Shy Guy. Yeah, it looks like no Shy Guy. My preferred strat.
And if Icterus can get this,
A little
he's gonna
high here.
be in very good position.
Okay. Looking good so far.
Yeah, he's good.
Looking good-ish. As long as he doesn't bonk going under here.
He should take the back bat. Yep,
Okay.
very nice.
Not there yet, but looking pretty good. And he's good. First try, Icterus. Alright. Looking very solid now.
Very well done.
Calco just starting 5-4. Got a lot of time to make up, so Calco's gonna have to hope Icterus stumbles a lot in these last world and a half. But there's a lot that can happen, a lot of places to die yet, so we'll see. But he's gonna need this 5-4 to hopefully keep pace.
Yeah, there'll be a lot of chances to die in World 6. It's always possible.
And now Icterus starting Sluggy. You're going to see him turning and doing neutrals far off the screen. That's because Sluggy's body does not render when it's off screen, so he's timing his position so that the heart spawns at the same time that the egg is over where the heart should be. And a very clean fight from Icterus.
Yep, very same concept as the ghosts in 3.8.
Icterus entering 5-5, and Calco about to start his first 5-4 attempt. Hopefully his only. Hopefully he's not too shaken from 5-3. At this point, these runners, it's just muscle memory. 5-4 just happens. Calco looking good so far.
Good. Yep.
Just keep your head above water and you're good. Yeah, looking pretty good. Get an
That's
extra
looking good.
bump there, looking good. Now it shouldn't be a problem that you can't see the bat. Usually that bat will be right under that arrow if you time your flutters the same way. Icterus meanwhile doing the heli skip. Okay, alright, Calco looking good. Scaring me a little bit there, but
Same.
alright, and he's through. Good job, Calco.
Nice job. Oh,
Okay.
Icterus having a little bit of platform issues.
I think he thought he was going for 100% there.
Damage
Right,
boost through that piranha.
Nice and clean. And now Calco starting Sluggy. Icterus ditches some eggs.
Very smart. Icterus had a 4-shot Sluggy. We'll see if Calco can do the same.
There's 1. And 2. 3.
Very
Perfect
nice.
fight from Calco. Good job. Good 5-4 from Calco. Exactly what he needed. Now he is about a whole level behind, but as we've said, anything could still happen. Icterus could have too much fun at the end of this auto-scroller and fall to his doom.
Yep. At the end of the auto scroller here, there are going to be gussies flying around. It's very possible that a gussie hits you and knocks Yoshi right into a gap, and then you have to do the whole stage again. It's happened to multiple people.
And there's nothing worse than having to restart an auto-scroller. There's nothing worse.
Yep, there's that. It's also possible to say die at the end of 6-5 without getting the save ring. Another huge time loss.
Mm-hmm. Die during lava skip.
Mm-hmm.
Plenty of places to die. Or just taking some hits and start bleeding time. Hopefully he takes some inspirational chickens for the road. Alright, good man. Calco also going for the helicopter skip. I hate that trick. It should be banned forever. But it is what it is. Oh, goodbye chickens. I guess they don't like being abused by the bat. Calco cleanly through the damage boost. It's so easy to get hit there trying to clip through that piranha. You just slow down just a little bit and you're going to get hit.
Yep, I believe you only have about 30 frames to where you can pass through before the hitbox comes back. Or the hurt box. So, gotta get through there quickly.
And now Calco starting his auto-scroller journey. I think on average it's about a 1.5 loss every time you get hit. From the lost frames from being hit, and then the still frames from recovering Mario, I think add up to about it was like 70 frames, 1.5, something like that.
Yeah, roughly, yeah, I'm sure. So we'll see, this is that section I was talking about where Icterus could get knocked off by Gusty if it spawns, like, on the right side of the screen.
Yeah, Icterus does exactly what I do. I just repeatedly tongue the right side just to be sure.
Yep.
Oh, okay. Icterus dropping a few stream frames there, but we've recovered. Clearly, he's just swapping video feeds and hacking and cheating.
Slices
Right.
in, boys.
Yep. Mm-hmm. We know what you're up to, Icterus. Don't try to fool us. And we've got MT here. He's a fucking bloodhound for this shit. He'll know.
Icterus keeping 1 egg. I think I'm gonna need to see exactly 2 ducks and the 6.5 auto-scroller.
No more, no less.
And we're going left.
My brain hurts. Left is not allowed. This is a Nintendo game. We don't go left. But you're going to see Icterus quickly platforming his way through, using the platforms to boost when allowed. And then later on, you're going to see him have to navigate across some puzzle blocks, like we've seen in previous stages. I may not have mentioned that on those big gray blocks, we call them puzzle blocks or Tetris blocks, they do a little bit of a shake right before they start to descend. And during that shake, there's a few frames where if you try to jump, it'll eat your input, and has killed many a runner. So we also need Icterus to get through. Clean damage boost, good job. But,
Yeah, there's like a frame or two where Yoshi's technically in an air state, so you can't jump. But Icterus not having any issues.
Trying to go for a perfect. Oh, very nice. Go in the up way. With a perfect bumpity spit. And a very clean 5-7 from Icterus. Not letting Calco gain ground. Yes, Fiona, I believe it does. And now we come to 5-8, Lair of Raphael the Raven, where everybody needs to ask, which way is he gonna go? Is he gonna go left? Is he gonna go right? Or is he gonna stand still and be a jerk? Mostly a lot of precision platforming getting through 5-8. Nothing too crazy going on here. And we've got
Just
Calco entering 5-7.
Just a little vertical section here.
Mm-hmm.
Nice climbing section by Icterus.
Mm-hmm. Very good. Good arrow as well.
It's gonna have to take the extended flutter. Some rotating platforms, and then the last vertical climb here.
The trickiest vertical climb. You've got to dodge a bunch of Goonie birds and a lot of other treacheries on your way up. Looking pretty clean. Very well done from icterus.
Yep, you have to get through that section very quickly, or the enemies will just hit you.
Yeah, they just start piling in. All right, chat. Where do you think he's gonna go? I think he's gonna go. You've got your options. You got left. You got right and stop, or just or nowhere. He just stands still. I think it's gonna be.
I'm gonna go with right. Stop.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be right and stop. I think he's gonna be a total jerk. Oh, left.
Going left.
Alright.
No attacks so far. Wow, 1 spark. Pretty good.
Not bad. I think he has to give at least 1 spark, doesn't he? Is there? Can he not give sparks?
I don't think he has to.
Okay. So very good RNG for icterus. Very good 5-8. And moving on to World 6. Calco making his way through the beginnings of 5-8. Let's see. 1957 score screen for icterus.
Calco having a little bit of trouble with the climb. That section's pretty difficult. Very tight window to move right and jump off that platform without bonking or without falling off.
But no extended flutter needed for his arrow angle, so saving a little bit there. See if he gets through the vertical section cleanly without taking any hits. Looking good. Very quick jumping. No perfect jumps to screw up the camera, so very good section from Calco. So that's one of the mechanics that we'll need to re-mention later. If Yoshi jumps on the same frame that he lands, he'll execute what's called a perfect jump. And despite the name, it's often far from perfect. But what will often happen is the game doesn't realize that Yoshi's actually landed and jumped, so the camera won't move with Yoshi. Now, most of the time, that's an annoyance because you're trying to usually quickly ascend an area and the camera stays behind. But there's one particular place in the game where we can use that to our advantage, and we'll revisit that later. Let's see what kind of RNG Calco gets from Raph.
I'm gonna say left.
Going right.
Does he stop?
And okay, no stop.
So not the worst.
Yeah, no sparks there. Okay, no sparks though, so not bad. Probably about equal to what icterus got, even though he went right. He didn't get any sparks.
Yeah, it's pretty much a wash. Six one. This last little section here can be a little scary. But gets through it just fine.
Well, that was about a 122.9. So about 2 minutes and 12 seconds behind Calco is.
Yeah, it's gonna take some deaths for sure.
Oh yeah, definitely. About the only death I could think of, if icterus maybe goes for the rock roll and messes it up in 6-5, or if he dies to lava skip, that could even things out. But it's going to take a big death on icterus's part to lose this lead.
Yeah, I mean, even if he dies on 6-3 or something like that, he still has plenty of buffer. It's gonna have to be a big one or multiple small ones.
Yeah. Though someone should tell Calco, I will award him the victory if he does a proper full extend TIA. So there's still that last minute chance.
Icterus going for a perfect flutter, if you can call it that in the Baby Mario state, and getting over that wall.
Perfect cape.
Yeah, perfect cape, exactly. Basically the same concept as a perfect flutter.
Mm-hmm.
Six three. There is a fuzzy section here, so it's always
Mhm.
possible to die.
Yep. The final fuzzies of the game. Getting the post jump, very nice. If you run right into spinning logs at the right angle, they will catapult you upwards, using that to our advantage to get some extra height. Taking
Getting fuzzy
2,
right away.
Yeah. 3.
4, 5. Oh no, just 4. Not
Alright.
not the worst.
Denying him the instant exits.
Pretty much free from here though.
Yeah. Unless he goes for the end post jump, that could be sketchy.
Getting hit, but you're not at risk of dying. Doesn't go for the post, goes for the safe strat.
I don't blame him.
Nope. Yeah, 6-2 red coinless is a thing. There's only really one red coin that's hard to skip.
Calco properly sending the rat on his way via Bat Airlines. Was the up egg at the beginning of 5 or 6-4 to Icterus dig significant? Or is he just doing that for fun?
I don't think it I don't think it does anything.
Because I've heard you can now, like, if you go fast enough, like, adjust the platform so you don't have to flutter under, but I always just hold right the whole time anyway, so I don't know how you go faster. So that's why I'm asking, like, did that upshot, like, somehow, like, give him a little speed boost or something that I'm not aware of, but I don't think that's a thing. But anyway, Icterus now coming up to our second salvo fight of the game. Lots of variations on how to fight this, so it's pretty standard but clean execution from Icterus. I've seen people leading him to the left instead of the right, but lots of variety on how to handle that salvo.
Nice post jumps from Calco. Have to keep an eye on his fuzzy section. Takes 1.
Clearing the way with some egg.
4.
Okay. But the fuzzy's one off by the end, so he doesn't get the screen transition denial. And Icterus taking the middle ring, that's probably wise. You never know what could happen.
If that was me, I just would have said screw the save ring and just took the lock.
Yeah, I was almost expecting that as well. I'm not trying to be a pessimist here, but I don't think we're going to see double PBs from this run.
Unfortunately.
Now, Icterus, we're going to most likely see him do a 4-egg neutral strat. He's just going to neutral, back up a little bit, neutral again, and boss is dead in 4 shots. Easy peasy.
We'll see how Calco's salvo fight goes. I probably expect the same as
Probably.
Icterus.
I don't know if I imagine he probably does the same strat. That one's the most common one I've seen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it looks like it. Yep, good. Good fight. And now we come to the greatest, or the worst, depending on how you're looking at it, auto-scroller in the game. There's actually 2 auto-scrollers in one level, but we only take one of them, as we'll see later. Alright, Calco making his way through 6-4. See if he gets up and over the wall nice and cleanly. I don't expect him to take the ring. Yeah. You can avoid the flowers and the... Oh, Calco taking the log. Okay.
Yeah, that's
unexpected, but I don't blame him.
Smart play. If you're not going to take the save ring in a race, you need to just take the log.
Yeah. It's not even a significant time difference anyway, especially if you get the right wave.
Mm-hmm. And your time save from doing lava skip is going to be severely diminished by the mid-ring animation.
Yeah. With such a small time save there, it's no sense, risking it for a log. You're already that far behind, why risk putting yourself further? And a clean fight for Calco. Icterus just having fun, enjoying his time in the very long cave. I don't know if we'll see the rock strat from him at the end of this screen. I think he usually goes for it.
I think we should see it.
Probably. So at the end of this screen, there's a rolling rock that's up above that you can't quite see, but you'll see Icterus float up and push it before it falls to the left, and instead you'll see him push it to the right, and he uses that rock to push himself to the exit sooner.
Yep. Pretty much all the sprites spawn in when they're still off screen, and since the screen's moving very slowly, you have to use the rock to push you kind of off screen into the off screen sprite. Very, very cool strat. Avoiding
Don't touch the lava. Don't touch the lava, Icterus. Don't do it. I would lose my goddamn mind if he touched the lava right now or died to rock. I just wouldn't know what to do with myself. I'd have to be mute for a while.
He's gonna set the rock up here and start pushing about now, and then jump on the right side and get pushed into the transition. Nice.
Well done. And now, how we mentioned before, the strat of perfect jumping. We're going to see him try to use it here. First try. So by manipulating the screen there, a trigger for an auto-scroller does not spawn. So we're at this whole section. Oh no. What just happened?
Taking a death. I'm not sure what happened there. Just dropped this
Oh
fire.
no. Did he die? No, he wasn't at rock yet. What happened? I was too busy talking about perfect jumping. Oh no.
I'm not quite sure.
I was only kidding, Calco. I was only kidding. God.
And Icterus through that very scary ending falling rock section. From here, there's the possibility that when he tries to get the key, it goes off to the right, so he has to go either get it normally or die and restart.
Maybe he gets door 3. I don't know. It's
6-7's a very long level. Icterus going for rock.
Or he's just gonna first try it and
first try, easy. Little bit of difficulty actually getting the key.
Yeah,
but still fast. Gonna do an upspit, shoot out the foam. With that shot, it'll also get the foam that's holding the key.
Second try on the reflutter, but he gets it. Why is the reflutter always easier than the initial flutter?
Good question. And I think we may see an attempt at something crazy here in 6-7.
I mean, he might as well.
Yeah.
And if anybody's going to attempt it, it's going to be Icterus. So. It's his IL, right, that has it?
Not sure.
Or is it
But
Turtle? Is it his or Turtles? I'm not sure.
it's one of the two.
Yeah.
But if there is a time for it, it is now.
Mm-hmm. Oh, both of them have it. Okay. Then yeah, we'll almost definitely see 6, at least an attempt. He should get 6, 7, and then get door 3.
That would be heartbreaking.
Oh my gosh.
Alright, so let's see.
Oh, not going for it. Oh, okay.
Interesting. I wonder if he thinks he can PB without it, or maybe he's not watching the restream.
Maybe that's possible. He may not know what his lead is. Some runners prefer that. They just prefer to run in quiet mode.
Not have any outside factors influence what you do.
Yeah.
Calco with the first try. Auto scroller skip.
Nice.
Coming up again to that scary falling rock section. Nicely
Well
done.
done, Calco. Well, it's Icterus's race to lose at this point.
Yeah.
Or
He must not be watching.
probably. Very nice extended flutter off the sniffet.
Yep, some precise camera manipulation there to set it up so that yellow platform is in the right spot. Grabbing the cactus, he's going to spit it into the gate, grab it as it's coming back left, and then that'll do I guess a variation of a gate hack.
4, 5, 6,
Victor's
7.
missing the Baxter.
7th try, Warpless for Calco. And now entering the final stage. Nice comfy helicopter ride to our doom.
Interesting helicopter strat.
Yeah, it's a little higher than you normally see people go.
I'm not sure about that one.
Oh, not
Yeah,
door 3.
four.
I guess we'll go with the ideal door. I see Calco crying face in chat, and I'm like, wait, what did I miss? I don't think he died again.
Nah.
Unless I blinked. I mean, Icterus could despawn the Bowser door. Not impossible.
Highly improbable, but
Yeah.
it is not impossible. I've done it in a race myself.
Have you really?
Yeah.
I was really hoping it was just only Tricks that had done that. Go Tricks.
No, happened to me a good 8-9 years ago.
I mean, that might potentially even the field if it happened, because he'd have to reset.
Mm-hmm. But that's so well known these days that
Yeah, he'd have to almost like intentionally trying to play with fire to do it.
yeah, it wasn't. Things weren't as well known back then.
Yeah.
What happens is the spinning mid ring is a super effects sprite. The door is also scaled up with the super effects thing, and then if you upspit a shy guy and it's spinning, that's also a super effects thing. And you can basically only have 2 of those on the screen at once at the end of that level. So if the mid ring's on screen and then you upspit the shy guy when the door should spawn, then the door won't spawn because there's too much super effect stuff on screen.
Wow. Don't you be doing that hide behind Baby Bowser nonsense.
Disappointing.
Always disappointing. These new runners, man. Calco wins, GG. Yep. No, Calco still has to prove himself.
The only way Icterus can redeem himself is with a 7 out of 7 shot Bowser.
Mm-hmm. With a toady, with an extra egg to shoot out the toady at the end.
Agreed. See, Calco doing the strat I think is better. You just go down a little bit and then up a little bit instead of doing whatever. Instead of doing whatever.
Threading the needle between
Yeah.
Skull and Goonies. Just one shot.
Just 2. Trying to get the
Really
right angle
just
locked
there.
in.
That looks good. 3.
That one looks good too.
4. 5. Nice, nice.
Having some trouble spawning the next egg. Just waiting for Bowser to run up a little bit.
6. But he did have to wait a little, and that should do it. GG.
7. Throw the egg.
Throw the.
Oh.
Disappoint.
Congratulations. Big congratulations to Icterus. Coming in with a 142. 16. Less than 20 seconds behind his PB. So very, very good race run.
Yeah. And as promised for the sub 143, giving 1,000 bits to the prize pool. Good job, Icterus. And there you have it, the official winner of the 2023 Yoshi's Island Warpless Winter Tournament, Icterus.
Congratulations.
Calco finishing up his run like a champ. Not rage quitting. Definitely don't see that kind of thing in a tournament.
Big shout outs to Volpe for organizing this tournament and doing all the streaming and all that.
Yes,
So,
thank you very much, Volpe.
so it's a lot of work, so we appreciate that.
If nothing else, for the PBs alone that this tournament has brought, it's truly a noteworthy event in Yoshi history. Yes, thank you again, Volpe.
EIA.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Sorry, I'm sorry. I retract my earlier statement. Congratulations to Calco, true winner of our hearts of the 2023 Yoshi's Island Warpless Winter Tournament.
And we'll see if Calco can close it out with the 7 out of 7.
Might be a little too high. Oh no, no, got him right on the nose. I like these quick releases. Ooh, nice shot. Or so good. Waiting to see if it hits. Well done.
Nice.
Yeah, 145.57 from Calco. Still a very solid run. Had it not been for the 2 deaths, this would have been a very different story. But it is what it is. Anything could happen in a race. GG Racers, GG. Icterus, I'm curious, were you aware of your lead at any point, or do you race blind? Alright, fair. That's probably the smart way to do it.
Well, thanks, Colthor. It's been a pleasure, my friend.
As always good to sit and chat with you, MT. And once again, thank you to Volpe for organizing this whole thing. Thank you for the viewers for chatting in and having a good time. Good night, everybody. And thus ends the Yoshi's Island Warpless Winter Tournament 2023. Have a good night, all.